If your bedroom never quite feels calm, cozy, or put together, even after you've redecorated it twice, it's probably not the furniture. I've walked into hundreds of bedrooms as a designer, and almost every single one has the exact same problem hiding in plain sight: the lighting. Not the paint color, not the bedding, the lighting. One of these 7 mistakes is sitting in almost every bedroom in America right now. It takes about 10 seconds to fix, and it's the single biggest reason a room feels more like a hospital waiting area than somewhere you actually want to sleep. These are 7 lighting mistakes quietly wrecking your bedroom, and exactly how to fix each one tonight. We're counting up, and the mistakes get more common and more damaging as we go. Stick around for number 7, because almost nobody gets this one right on the first try.
Number 1. Relying on a single overhead light. It makes sense on paper. One fixture, one switch, the whole room lit in a second. Here's what nobody tells you. That single overhead light is quietly doing more damage to how your bedroom feels than almost anything else in the room. A single ceiling fixture floods the room with flat, even light from directly above. That kind of lighting flattens shadows, washes out texture in your bedding and walls. And worse, it's the same lighting angle used in offices and hospitals, which is exactly why it can make a bedroom feel clinical instead of restful. I worked with a client whose bedroom had genuinely beautiful furniture, a real wood bed frame, nice linen bedding, but the room still felt sterile every time she walked in at night. The problem wasn't a single object in the room. It was the one bare ceiling light doing all the work. Here's the fix. Turn the overhead light off as your default, and treat it as a cleaning the room light only. Bring in at least 2 other light sources at lower heights instead. That one change alone resets how the whole room feels. But mistake number 2 is one almost everyone makes without ever reading the fine print on the box.
Number 2, using the wrong bulb temperature. Grabbing whatever bulb is cheapest or already on the shelf feels harmless. A bulb is a bulb, right? Here's the blunt truth. The wrong bulb temperature can make an expensive, well-designed bedroom look like a budget motel room in about 2 seconds. Bulbs labeled 4000K to 5000K cast a cool blue-white light, the same tone used in bathrooms and kitchens to help you see clearly. That's the opposite of what a bedroom needs. Warm bulbs in the 2200K to 2700K range cast an amber, low-contrast glow. That's what almost every professionally styled bedroom actually uses. I worked on a bedroom where every fixture, the ceiling light, both nightstand lamps, even a floor lamp, was running a different bulb temperature. Nothing about the room looked wrong in daylight, but at night it looked patchy and cold, like 3 different rooms stitched together. Here's the fix. Check the Kelvin number printed on the bulb packaging and standardize every single bulb in the bedroom to the same warm temperature, ideally 2200K to 2700K. A full set of warm LED bulbs for a bedroom typically costs under $25. Number 3 is the one most people think is a luxury upgrade. It isn't.
Number 3, skipping a dimmer. Dimmers get filed under nice to have someday, something you'll add once you've got a bigger budget or you're finally renovating. But here's what nobody tells you. A dimmer isn't a luxury upgrade. It's one of the cheapest, highest impact changes you can make to a bedroom. Full stop. A bedroom needs to do 2 completely different jobs: bright enough to get dressed and find things, and dim enough to actually wind down and sleep. One fixed brightness level can't do both well. Without a dimmer, most people either live with lighting that's too harsh at night, or they give up and only use lamps, leaving the overhead light unused entirely. I worked with a couple who'd already spent real money on nightstand lamps and a statement ceiling fixture, but still complained the room never felt relaxing at night. A basic $20 dimmer switch, installed in under 15 minutes, fixed what thousands of dollars in furniture couldn't. Here's the fix. Swap your standard wall switch for a basic dimmer switch. Most run $15 to $25 at any hardware store, and get in the habit of lowering the light in the hour before bed. We're 3 mistakes in, but the next one is where things get a lot more common, and honestly, a lot sneakier.
Number 4, only using one type of light source. One ceiling light or one lamp feels like plenty. The room is lit, so the job feels done. The answer here isn't what you'd expect. A bedroom lit by only one source, no matter how nice that source is, will always feel flat and one-dimensional compared to a room lit by several. Designers layer 3 types of light in every bedroom: ambient light for general visibility,
task light for reading or getting ready, and accent light, a small lamp, a plug-in sconce, even string lights, purely for mood. Skipping any one of those layers is what makes a bedroom feel unfinished, even with expensive furniture in it. I worked on a bedroom with a gorgeous ceiling pendant as the only light source in the room. It looked stunning switched off during the day. At night, it was the only option, so the room was either fully bright or fully dark, nothing in between. Here's the fix. Add at least one small accent light, a $25 to $40 plug-in wall sconce, or a small table lamp on a dresser, in addition to your main task lighting. That third layer is what makes the room feel finished after dark. Number 5 is the one that's actively working against your sleep, not just your decor.
Number 5. Lights positioned directly above the bed. A ceiling fixture centered over the bed feels like the obvious placement. It's symmetrical, it's centered, it lights the whole bed evenly. Here's the blunt truth. Light coming straight down from directly above the bed is one of the most unflattering and most sleep-disruptive placements in the entire room. Overhead light hitting you at that angle casts harsh shadows under the eyes and across the face, the same effect that makes bad bathroom lighting so unflattering. And functionally, it means the brightest light in the room is aimed directly at your face the second you look up, which makes winding down harder, not easier. I worked with a client who couldn't figure out why reading in bed always felt uncomfortable, even with a nice overhead fixture installed. The fixture wasn't the problem, its position was. It was aimed straight down at her face from 6 feet away. Here's the fix. Rely on side lighting instead. Nightstand lamps at roughly shoulder height when you're sitting up in bed, and use the overhead fixture only for entering and cleaning the room, on its lowest dimmer setting otherwise. A pair of matching nightstand lamps with a fabric shade, something that softens the light rather than exposing a bare bulb, typically runs $30 to $60 for the pair, and instantly replaces harsh overhead light with something far more flattering. I'll link a few solid options below. Mistake number 6 is one almost nobody thinks of as lighting at all.
Number 6. Ignoring natural light and blackout control. Most people think of bedroom lighting purely as bulbs and fixtures. The sun coming through the window doesn't feel like part of the same problem. But uncontrolled natural light, street lights leaking in at 2 a.m., or sunrise flooding the room at 5 a.m. is lighting too, and it's one of the most disruptive versions of it. Thin curtains or gaps around the window frame let in enough light to interrupt deep sleep cycles, even if you never fully wake up enough to notice. A room that looks perfectly lit and cozy at 9 p.m. can still be working against you at 3 a.m. if light is leaking in around the edges of the window. I worked with a client near a busy street who'd already fixed every lamp and bulb in her bedroom, but still wasn't sleeping well. The missing piece wasn't a fixture at all. It was a $20 gap ceiling strip along the top and sides of her curtain rod. Here's the fix. Add blackout curtains or a blackout liner behind your existing curtains, and make sure the panels are wide enough to fully cover the window frame with a few inches of overlap on each side. Budget blackout curtain panels typically run $20 to $40 each. Number 7 will probably surprise you. It's the mistake I mentioned right at the start, the one that trips up even people who fixed everything else on this list.
Number 7. Treating lighting as a set-it-once decision. This is the one I teased at the very beginning, and it's last because it's the mistake that undoes all the other fixes if you let it. Most people set up their bedroom lighting once, when they first move in or first decorate, and never touch it again. But a bedroom's lighting needs actually change hour by hour. Bright and functional in the morning, softer for getting ready in the evening, and dim and warm right before sleep. A single fixed lighting setup, no matter how well chosen, can't serve all 3 moments. That's why smart plugs or simple lamp timers matter more than people expect. They let the same lamps do different jobs at different times of day, without you having to think about it. I worked with a client who'd done everything right: warm bulbs, layered lamps, blackout curtains, but was still manually adjusting 3 different lamps every night, and admitted she usually just gave up and left everything on the same setting. We added 2 $15 smart plugs to her existing lamps, set a simple evening dim schedule, and the room started doing the work automatically. Here's the fix. Pick your 2 most used lamps and put them on simple smart plugs or outlet timers, roughly $12 to $20 each, and set one warm dim schedule for an hour before your usual bedtime. The lighting fix, at that point, runs itself. If you spotted 2 or 3 of these in your own bedroom, that's completely normal. These aren't signs you decorated wrong. They're just the details almost nobody gets taught.
You can fix them one at a time, starting with whichever feels easiest tonight. A bedroom that feels expensive, calm, and restful was never really about the biggest budget. It's about the light doing its job at the right time, from the right height, in the right tone. The dimmer instead of one fixed brightness. The side lamp instead of the light shining straight down. The warm bulb instead of whatever was cheapest on the shelf. None of that shows up in a listing photo. All of it shows up the second you actually try to fall asleep in the room. Which of these 7 mistakes is happening in your bedroom right now? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If you want more low-cost fixes that make a real difference in how your home actually feels, subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.